Okay, so let's have a look at the story. Bum, bum, bum. Pubs could run out of beer for bank holiday. Well, what's the story here? What is a bank holiday? Now, a bank holiday is a holiday where not just the banks are closed, but everything is closed. So, actually, it's pretty much any public holiday. So it sounds strange to say, but your Setsubun holiday in Japan, we could say it's a Japanese bank holiday. It's a Japanese public holiday. The words really are interchangeable. We could use bank holiday in the same way as public holiday. What do people do on their bank holidays? Well, guess what? In the UK, first of all, any chance of sunshine and everybody's going to run to the beach. But if the beach is too far, quite a lot of people are going to head to the pub for the afternoon, have a pub lunch in the glorious sunshine, and yeah, the beers will be flowing. Landlords warn they may have to shut by the weekend with pumps running dry in days after lorry driver strike hit supply chain. Jan, jan, jan. Okay, now I know some of you may be fully understanding this headline already, but for the benefit of study, I want to break down the headline, and what we're going to do is we're going to deconstruct the headline and make it easy to understand piece by piece. First of all, well, we finished pubs could run out of beer for bank holiday. Let's have a look at the next section. Landlords warn they may have to shut by the weekend. First of all, a landlord. What's a landlord? Why is a landlord shutting a pub? Well, let's check this word. What does landlord mean? Now, some of you may already know the word landlord means somebody who owns a building, or somebody who owns a building or some land, and they rent that building or they rent an apartment to a tenant. So in my case, the landlord of my shop, he actually lives in the same building just behind me. Anyway, so the landlord is the person who owns a building. But in this case, the landlord is also a manager of a pub. So sometimes, yes, they are the owner of the pub, but they don't have to be. The landlord is the manager or owner or both of the pub. So, landlords warn they may have to shut by the weekend. Here, warn. What does warn mean? Now, we need to have a think about this. Warn usually means to tell someone in advance before it happens that something bad is going to happen. So for example, I may warn you that tomorrow it's going to rain, so maybe we shouldn't do the washing tonight. Hey, my wife warned me it's going to rain tomorrow, so we can't do the laundry tonight. I made another example sentence which I thought was kind of interesting for our study. I imagine going to see maybe an old lady, a little old lady for the first time, and I meet this little old lady and she says, "Oh, I'm so forgetful. I'm so forgetful in my old age. I may forget your name." Now after the event, I could go home and I could say to my wife, I could say, "Yeah, she was funny. She warned me she may forget my name." And I kind of thought, is that the same as landlords warn they may have to shut the pubs? A little old lady is warning me she may forget my name. I'm not so sure, so I had a quick check on Google Translate. Now Google Translate told me, 彼女は私の名前を忘れるかもしれないと私に警告した。And I kind of thought, well, that keikokushita, I thought that's kind of a bit hard, isn't it? A little old lady, I'm going to forget your name. Well, I can't imagine that really. I don't know. So I think in this case, it may just be more appropriate, it may be better to translate it just with imashita. Wasureru kamoshirenai to watashi ni imashita. I think that sounds a little bit more Japanese, to be honest. But if you can think of a better way to translate it, hey, write it in the comments below. Or if you want to challenge my opinion, please go ahead and write it in the comments below and say, I think a better way to say that would be this way. Okay? I hope maybe we can get a discussion going. Excuse me. Okay. So, let's come back to the first part of the headline. Pubs could run out of beer for bank holiday. Well, hang on, I'm worried about this. They could run out of beer for the bank holiday. So that doesn't mean they're going to. It means they could. You see, the first part of the headline contains the word could. And the second part, may. So, do you think they will run out of beer for the bank holiday? I can tell you in my lifetime I've never seen a pub run out of beer. I think they're a bit more careful than that. So this word could and this word may. I like this quote, I found it in the comments. If the word could was banned from newspapers, a rainforest could be saved. Let's have a look one more time. If the word could was banned from newspapers, a rainforest could be saved. I like what he's saying here. I think what he's saying is that the newspapers will often say nani nani kanosei ga aru, because there's not really a story. I mean, sure, a coconut could fall on my head right now, but the possibility is very, very low, and I don't think that's going to happen. Well, I hope it's not going to happen. So the newspapers will print these stories with just a small possibility because there aren't any other big stories. I wonder, is this really a big story? Probably not. Alright, but anyway, we still got an interesting story. Now let's have a look at the next part. They could be shut by the weekend with pumps running dry in days. Now I thought this is a use of with, which maybe not many students are comfortable with. It could be kind of, it could be saying and, but it could also be saying because. So let's have a look, let's do some practice. With all the rainfall, I'm not sure I'll be able to go camping next week. Do you think we could put the word and here, or do you think we could put the word because? Well, in fact, they're kind of both incorrect. You would need because of. Because of all the rainfall, I'm not sure I'll be able to go camping next week. It's kind of a difficult word to use. With all the rainfall, I'm not sure I'll be able to go camping next week. It's quite a dramatic word. My advice to you as a student, you don't need to use it. But sometimes if you see the word with and you can't think, is that an and, is that a etc, etc, think maybe it could be a because type sentence. The next sentence, let's have a look. I won't be able to sleep tonight. What with all the noise from the party downstairs. You know, in this sentence, can you put the word because of into this sentence? Do it in your head. Yeah, that makes good sense to me. I won't be able to sleep tonight because of all the noise from the party downstairs. Alright, well, let's have a look at the final part of this headline. So far, what have we got? Pubs could run out of beer for bank holiday. Landlords warn they may have to shut by the weekend, with pumps running dry in days after lorry driver strike hit supply chain. The actual story here is that lorry drivers have been on strike, and so the pub landlords are unable to get their beer, and we have a public holiday coming up, and a pub without a beer on a public holiday sounds like a terrible thing. It's kind of an interesting story. But anyway, a quick quiz, because one common mistake I often hear, the word hit. A lorry driver strike hit supply chain. We often hear, for example, typhoon hits east coast of Japan. It's kind of the same. I often hear student mistakes, and I wonder which word you can imagine is the student mistake. Well, I often hear the word attack used instead of hit. Now, it's not really the same thing. I mean, okay, sometimes it is when it's a man attacked another man. A man hit another man. Yeah, okay, that's kind of the same. But typhoons definitely don't attack people. They don't have any ishiganai. They don't have any self-motivation to do it. And I think with the word attack, we usually need some kind of self-motivation. Okay, so let's cross off the word attack. How about the word affect and effect? Well, to be honest, this is very often a native speaker mistake. You'll often see people writing comments and they'll mistake these two words. And the reason is the word affect and effect has the same pronunciation, unless we really if we really stress it, affect and effect. But when we're speaking, we don't usually stress it like that. And so native speakers are very often confused. One is the noun and one is the verb. Now, which one is which? Meishi doshi, meishi doshi, meishi doshi. Ping pong! Affect is the verb and effect is the noun. Now, the way I always remember myself is the cause and the effect. So effect, the effect, the effect. Effect is a noun. Affect is a verb. So if we substitute into this headline, after lorry driver strike affects supply chain, it would be B. Okay. All right. Now, finally, what we're going to do is start to move away from the newspaper headline, and I thought I'd teach you a few words that I thought were useful for your own personal vocabulary. The first one actually comes from the article. British boozers could be running dry by the August bank holiday. British boozers. Now, what's a boozer? Well, have a look at the question. Which word from the sentence means pub? Ping pong, boozer. So, it's an interesting word itself. Common word, the word booze. Booze means alcohol. That man is drinking booze. That man is drinking alcohol. Same sentence, just a little bit more casual. Now, in the UK, when we use the word boozer, it means pub and does not mean person. Usually, boozer means pub, not person. Okay? Now, what I want to do, if you've got pencil and a paper, I want you to make, we call these spider charts. Make yourself a circle and insert pub words, and we can draw a line off here and we can add the word boozer. All right. Next up. Again, this is from the article, so please remember, after the lesson, please look at the link below, click on the link, go have a look at the article yourself. The article contains this sentence. Watering holes owned by the larger chains are the worst affected due to their reliance on imported beers. Please read it again silently. I'm going very fast. Okay, so which word from the sentence means pub? Bing bong! Watering hole. Again, it's another casual English term for a pub or bar. It's pretty international. I'm sure the Americans, the Australians also use the same phrase. So we'll add that to our spider graph in a minute, but before that, just have a quick look at what this is about. I kind of found this an interesting section of the article. The watering holes owned by the larger chains are the worst affected due to their reliance on imported beers. Reliance on, it's kind of seto anki, should I say, the reliance on is tayoru. So the big chain pubs, I guess in Japan it'd be like the Watamin or the Shirokiya, are the worst affected because they sell so many imported beers. And these lorry drivers are driving the beers imported from Europe, and they're on strike, and so the big companies can't get hold of their beers. Now I wonder, is this good news for the small English local beer companies? Maybe they can start selling their beers to the big chains. So I kind of hope maybe there's some good news from this bad news for the pubs. But anyway, let's add watering hole onto pub words. Next up is not from the article, but I just thought a nice useful word. How about pub food? Well, one very common English phrase for pub food is the word pub grub. Now, pub grub actually means food in any situation. It's a very casual word. It just means food. Oh, I just want to get some grub. I just want to get some food. But if we look at the words, ub sound very similar, and so it's got a nice ring, and so it's kind of a nice set. Pub grub means pub food. Okay. Next up, I thought, think of some Japanese phrases that you would use in a restaurant or in an izakaya setting, and how would you say those in English? I made a list of 3. How might we say these phrases in English? Well, I think yopparai is kind of easy. Drunk. But we have to be a bit careful, because what's the verb? Well, the verb is the to be verb. So he is drunk, I am drunk, she is drunk, etc., etc. We also use the word get drunk. So I don't want to drink anymore because I don't want to get drunk. Be careful with the pronunciation. Drink, drank, drunk.
Drink, drank, drunk. Drink, drank, drunk.
The kako bunshike. In this case, drunk is an adjective form. It's the keoshi form. Drank is the past tense of the verb. Okay, just be careful. Watashi no ogori desu. So, what are we going to say here? It's my shout! What a great phrase. It's my shout. Watashi no sakebu. So, no. You don't have to pay. Put your money away. It's my shout. It's my shout. Now, we can use this in any situation. If I take my wife to the cinema and I say, oh, no, this time, it's your shout. It's your shout. It's his shout. It's my shout. Okay, we can refer to other people. And we also have this nice phrase, let me get this. Let me get this. So at the end of the meal, your customer takes out their wallet and they say, waiter, and you say, no, please, let me get this. Let me pay for this. Same thing. Okay. And finally, kanpai! I'm sure everybody knows how to say this. Cheers! But one thing I want to say, a kind of interesting point. In America, cheers, yeah, sure, it means kanpai. But in the UK, cheers means thank you as well. So, to end this lesson, which is what we've now done, I would like to say cheers for watching. Cheers for listening. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please click like below. Make any comments you want. Make the comments in Japanese. That's fine. After this lesson, you've got one job. Have a look at the description below. Now, in there is a link to my homepage. And on the homepage, there is a worksheet for this lesson. And there are two worksheets. One is a PDF file and one is an Excel file. Now the Excel file is more fun. If you're okay with Excel, it's kind of cool because you get a question and you type your answer, and if you type your answer, it tells you if you are correct or not correct immediately. It's cool. If you don't like Excel, have a look at the PDF file and download the PDF file. It's the same thing, but it's just easy to print, and then you can do it with a pencil and paper if that's what you prefer. Either way, I hope you enjoy. So, cheers. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll come back for another video sometime. Thank you.